Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla going after Cybertruck flippers, Ludicrous Model 3 timelines, Tesla losing safety ratings, and more. So let's get into it, and a special thanks to Babbel for sponsoring a portion of this video. First up today, some interesting developments for Tesla superchargers. Tesla superchargers were very clearly engineered for Tesla's own vehicles. You back in and the charge cable just reaches the charge port on the back left. Now that Tesla is opening chargers to other cars though, we're facing some issues. The R1T and R1S have their charge port on the front left, the F-150 Lightning is the same, and then the new Rivian R2 and R3 have their charge ports on the back right. This creates some issues with Tesla's current chargers not reaching or causing cars to park in weird ways that block more than one stall. V4 superchargers are coming and have longer cables, but they still may not reach as far as necessary for some situations, and those are still new. The majority of chargers in Tesla's expansive network have the original cable length, and that's part of why Tesla has said, quote, "We encourage all vehicle manufacturers to standardize charge port locations to the rear driver's side or front passenger side." Still, clearly this isn't happening, and that's where a new product comes in, an NACS extension cable. On Tesla's NACS support site, they now mention, quote, "We are working on an NACS to NACS extension cable, which will be available for purchase in the future." In theory, this is a tougher problem than many expect, since the cable itself has liquid cooling. An extender like this could limit charging speed, but it also may be the necessary solution if Tesla can implement it well. Tesla says it will be available for sale, so it appears that customers will be able to buy this. Likely this will be for those customers who frequently face difficulty charging at Tesla superchargers due to their charge port location, but I can't imagine this accessory will be a convenient one to carry around. Carrying around a large EV extension charging cable isn't the picture that most brands want to showcase when people are using their EVs, so we'll see what happens there. Ultimately, I think the best solution will be a standardized charge port location, but we could see Tesla instead extend cables at existing V3 chargers and move forward with V4 for the future. Tesla has committed fully to the back left since the beginning, and they are about 50,000 chargers deep. But Rivian's argument for the back right is that, quote, "We did a lot of research, and specifically in left-hand drive countries in Europe, we saw a lot of people charging cars on the street. You'd see charging cables like wrapped over hoods to get to the other side, and we wanted to solve that. It was also a design choice for cost. Quote, the other reason isn't specific to the customer, but is important to us. Wire routing. Being able to have it there meant less wires, which means less weight and less cost. So it was a win-win-win for us to make that decision." This issue will be interesting to see develop. Tesla opening chargers is great, but we will see adapters, extension cables, and other things becoming a normal part of charging a non-Tesla EV, until either Tesla ramps V4 chargers or companies agree that back left is the best. Next up today, some big Cybertruck updates, including Tesla following through with their no resale clause. First though, the Cybertruck's off-road capabilities are about to get a major boost in this coming update. While the Cybertruck is definitely a very powerful and capable vehicle, it has so far had some software limitations, keeping it from its full potential. Off-roaders have frequently cited the missing differential locks as a major missing feature, and have been requesting it since the truck's release. For those who don't know, a differential allows the wheels on a car's axle to spin at different speeds. This is really important for things like making turns, but it can be a bit trickier in off-roading scenarios. If you're on uneven terrain, this can lead to a number of different situations, and locking differentials force the wheels on an axle to move at the same speed so that the power is better distributed to the wheels with better grip. Off-roading vehicles can turn this feature on and off depending on the terrain, allowing you to tune your driving experience moment to moment. Tesla has been working on this feature for a while now and seems poised to be releasing this in a software update. The Cybertruck's lead engineer, Wes Morrill, posted on X recently saying, quote, "Yes, we have dual and tri and testing out both the mechanical lockers as well as e-locker for tri-rear, coming via over-the-air soon." He said that after posting a video of the Cybertruck climbing Hell's Revenge, one of the craziest off-roading areas to climb, but also added, "It's doable without lockers, though it takes more skill." It's really exciting to see this feature finally coming to the Cybertruck. It's going to do a lot to improve the off-road performance of this already very capable vehicle, and should allow more people to prove the capability of this truck. Tesla here got 3 Cybertrucks up there, so this is already far more capable than the average person will ever need. What's arguably more interesting about the Cybertruck this week, though, is Tesla's resale clause. For the Cybertruck, if you try to flip your truck within the first year of ownership, Tesla has the ability to sue you for $50,000 or more. This has been controversial for them to include here, but it is something that automakers do for popular low-volume vehicles like the Cybertruck is at launch. In any case, that hasn't stopped many people from reselling their trucks. Some try to skirt around it by leasing the car and offering a buyout once the year is up, but others have listed them for sale at crazy numbers. This one was on sale for nearly $300,000 from a Porsche dealer. Another sold for $244,500. In theory, Tesla has the ability to sue these owners for the full profit they received in this sale. That would have gone against the buyer agreement, but many have taken this risk anyway. Others have said that they don't believe Tesla has the ability to enforce this, and they haven't, until now. A Cybertruck order holder said last week that, quote, Tesla's loss and prevention flagged me, and store leader reached out to let me know they canceled my other reservations. He has the Cybertruck that he listed for sale, so Tesla's unable to sue him yet, since it hasn't been sold, but they are taking action against his future reservations, and he is blacklisted from ordering a Tesla in the future. Likely they are labeling him as a flipper internally. They refunded him the $100 deposits on his orders, but told him that they won't in the future. Quote, moving forward, any future orders placed by you will be canceled without a refund of the $100 reservation or $250 order fee, as official notification has been provided to you regarding this matter. For now, Tesla is canceling his orders, and this is likely them showing that they can and will do something about this. However, this is only the first step. If he does sell the truck, that's when we'd see if Tesla truly does hold to their clause and sue this Cybertruck owner for $50,000 or more. Many Cybertrucks have sold at auction for very high markups, so I'm very curious to see where things go from here. Will we soon be hearing about Tesla suing many different owners? Or will they simply take action on owners like this after they sell their trucks and prevent them from getting some in the future? Regarding Cybertruck production, it's very impressive to see at Giga Texas. There were over 100 spotted at lots at that factory, and these images are pretty crazy to see. They really are ramping up production, and deliveries keep on rolling. It will be a slow ramp, but it is happening. Next up, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Babbel. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world and teaches real-world conversations with lessons that prepare you to have practical conversations about travel, business, relationships, and more. You have the flexibility to learn on your own time on desktop or mobile. I chose to start learning French with Babbel because it's scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks, and the lessons are designed by actual language teachers. On top of that, they have a 20-day money-back guarantee, and you get access to 2 free live classes with your subscription. They also offer a few different subscriptions to choose from, including one that gives you lifetime access. Here's a clip of me practicing planning a trip, and I've come a long way in the last couple of months, even though you will have to still forgive some of my pronunciation.
Faire sa valise.
Faire sa valise. If you're planning a trip this summer, now is the perfect time to start learning the native language. With just 10 minutes a day, Babbel can help you get a lot more out of your travels. When I went on tour in Europe last year, I really wished I spoke at least some French so I could interact more with the locals. What language do you want to learn this year? Let me know in the comments. To start learning today, click the link in the description below and get 60% off during Babbel's spring sale. Next up today, we're getting very close to the release of the Ludicrous Model 3. This is the upgraded performance version of the Model 3 refresh that should be a pretty big improvement over the one Tesla sold for the last few years. The old performance Model 3 got a 3.1 second 0 to 60, top speed of 162 miles per hour, and a few upgrades to other parts of the car. For the Ludicrous Model 3 though, this marks the first time Tesla is making some true exterior changes. The front bumper is altered, the wheels are entirely new, and there appear to be some changes to the rear as well. Then the noticeable badge change is the Ludicrous badge, marking the first time Tesla has called their performance Model 3 anything but performance. This is the step right below Plaid, and specs have leaked a bit here. This will be dual motor, but it is rumored to deliver as much as 618 horsepower over the previous performance Model 3's 505. This front motor will be a 3D3 motor, which gives 212, and rear will be 42, which gives 406. The main improvement then is coming from the rear motor, adding about 108 horsepower. One other aspect is the kilowatt rating, which shows the rear motors should now peak at higher speeds. Quote, the vehicle also now should achieve peak power at a higher speed of 68 miles per hour versus the outgoing car's 47 miles per hour, which could make for a better track experience. Weight apparently is unchanged compared to the older performance trim, staying at 4,089 pounds. Typically, EVs will have impressive instant torque, but that curve flattens as you go to higher speeds, and this should change that quite noticeably. It could bring an extremely impressive 0 to 60 well under the previous 3.1 seconds. This past week, another Ludicrous Model 3 was spotted out testing near Lake Tahoe, and while it's very dark, we do get a very good look at the rear wheels. They appear to be noticeably wider than the stock Model 3 rear wheels, which is very much something we see on high-performance vehicles. For many, that's going to be a very enticing feature. Tesla has been spotted testing with this vehicle, full new wheels, and all at the Nürburgring, and now many signs are pointing to an imminent release. Most recent timeline rumors have said that the new Model 3 is a bit delayed due to motor issues they are working on out of China, but the source code for this model has shown up in Tesla's online configurator, both in the US and in Europe. For now, it only references the name Ludicrous, but it's pretty clear at this point that this is going to be the name of this trim, just like Plaid. Those promos that we're filming with this car took place in Spain, so some signs point to this first arriving out of Tesla's Chinese factory, but it is showing up on their website in multiple markets. It could be quite an interesting launch if they can bring this out simultaneously from both factories. Tesla did see the Osborne effect come into play with the Model 3 refresh launch, where people were waiting to buy until that refresh came to the US. Likely they'll want to avoid that in the US this time around. If the Ludicrous Model 3 comes out of China, once again they'll create a certain number of customers that are waiting to upgrade to the new Model 3 until that performance model comes to the US, however long that will take. That could line up with this rumored May release date. Right now, Tesla has introduced a lot of incentives to get customers buying their Q1 inventory. They're offering up to 10,000 miles of supercharging if you buy a vehicle and trade one in, along with the ability to transfer FSD to your vehicle. The Model 3 is currently excluded from the supercharging offer, and this is likely in part to drive customers to buy a Model Y. Reportedly, inventory is growing there, and Tesla has introduced another offer to allow customers to upgrade paint or interior color on their inventory cars at no extra charge. So introducing a Ludicrous Model 3 right now would surely complicate a lot. You can bet that Tesla wants to wait until the Model 3 is scaled a bit more and until they've made it through this quarter. With that said, anything could happen here. Fremont is still scaling up the new Model 3, and clearly Tesla is focused on getting the Model Y out the door. So maybe it just makes sense to launch this car soon out of Giga Shanghai for that market and the European market that factory serves. Then they'll release it in the US in due time like they did with the two other trims. We'll have to see, but I'm excited to see this car. Hopefully it does come in May or earlier. Next up today, Tesla has always prided itself on their nearly immaculate safety ratings from boards across the world. The Model Y received top safety scores from NHTSA, Euro NCAP, and Australia's NCAP. However, a recent design change has prompted one agency to reconsider the safety score of some Tesla vehicles. Starting back in 2021 with the Model S and X, Tesla removed all stocks from these vehicles in favor of buttons on the steering wheel and shifting on screen. These changes have expanded to the new Model 3 refresh, the Cybertruck, and we will likely see that come to the Model Y refresh, eliminating stocks across the board for all of Tesla's vehicles. These changes have been controversial ever since they were adopted. It does admittedly take some getting used to shifting on screen and using blinker buttons, and while some grow to accept it, like I have, others just can't get over the hurdle of using it. Tesla is constantly trying to remove analog inputs from their cars, preferring digital buttons and for drivers to primarily use the center touchscreen. Now, some safety officials think this practice has gone too far. Euro NCAP has just announced that they will begin penalizing the safety score of vehicles for the, quote, overuse of touchscreens. In a follow-up statement that seems a bit pointed towards Tesla, they add that in order to get a 5-star safety rating, cars will have to have physical controls for turn indicators, hazard warning lights, windshield wipers, horn, and SOS features. The director of strategic development at Euro NCAP said regarding these new guidelines, quote, the overuse of touchscreens is an industry-wide problem, with almost every vehicle maker moving key controls onto center touchscreens, obliging drivers to take their eyes off the road and raising the risk of distraction crashes. Euro NCAP doesn't have the authority to ban these specific features, but if a car company wants a perfect rating, then they will have to comply. I'm very curious to see how Tesla chooses to respond to this move. Impeccable safety ratings have always been very important at Tesla, and losing those 5 stars in this market is certainly going to hurt. But on the other hand, Tesla seems committed down the path of eliminating as many extra controls as possible. Recently, Tesla did backtrack a bit and reintroduce a mechanical horn to the center of the Model S and X yoke, so they aren't immune to criticism. If there is enough consumer backlash, then it is possible Tesla may reverse this. Maybe they'll eventually reintroduce the stocks and offer the stockless version as an option like they did with the yoke. It seems unlikely because they're very committed to this design, but would be an option that many drivers would appreciate. We'll have to wait and see what comes of this decision, but it seems like soon Tesla is going to be losing their 5-star safety rating in Europe, at least for a little while. Next up today, Tesla is reportedly looking to announce a new factory location by the end of this year, and there are a few countries in contention. We spoke recently about how Italy has been in talks with Tesla to potentially become the home for the next Tesla factory, but other countries are expressing interest. A country that has been rumored to host the next Tesla factory for a while now is Thailand. Reuters has reported that the Prime Minister of Thailand has been in negotiations with Tesla, and initial site surveys were conducted last year. As part of this deal, the government there has offered a full renewable energy guarantee to power the factory. Overall, Tesla is still pretty new to the market in Thailand, with orders opening there in 2022 and first deliveries a year later. They are not only a major auto market in Asia, but are also one of the biggest car manufacturing hubs there, producing over 2 million cars per year. This isn't the first time that we have heard the notion of Tesla opening a factory in Thailand, but talks are currently underway. It's very reasonable that Tesla is looking towards making a major expansion soon, and Asia would be a prime candidate. Chinese automakers are proving to be tough competition for Tesla, so focusing on more local production could help them to secure their market share. With that said, it is interesting to see Tesla pushing for new factories while knowing what we know about the history of Giga Mexico. That factory is kind of on an indefinite hold after Tesla's reported concerns about the economy. Giga Mexico has been delayed continuously since it was announced, and now production of Tesla's upcoming affordable EV won't be happening there first as initially planned. Maybe Tesla was just worried that opening a new North American factory would be unnecessary with Fremont and Texas being so close. The entirety of Asia is currently only served by Giga Shanghai, so perhaps they see more immediate growth potential there. While we don't know exactly what is going on behind the scenes at Tesla, it seems they are poised for some major growth soon. Mexico, Italy, India, and Thailand are some of the major contenders for Tesla's next big expansion, and we'll keep a lookout for more news as it develops. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see all the details for the new Rivian R2 and R3, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.